Hello, welcome to Noonie TV. This is Noonie74. Hope everybody's doing good. Today we will be talking about Elder Scroll Online. We're going to be talking about one bar, heavy attack builds, and heavy attack builds in general. So we do have in the forum an article. It's a bit controversial. It's something that, well, as you may know, in this last few patches, heavy attack is something that never really existed back in the days. I mean, they had sets for it, but it was very mediocre, did not work very well. Everything used to be just light attack and weaving. Well, now they have a lot of cheese builds, and I'll explain that later, where it makes things simpler for people to hit damage. I heard seen in videos that people are even hitting 100K damage. So it's a little bit controversial. I know in the vet endgame community, they're not the biggest fan of it. So we're gonna talk about it and let's see how some people are feeling in the forum. So here's one from Hyperdeath Stalker. I do feel like this needs to be addressed. Even though whatever you run, you're always gonna get some hate, but in particular, one bar heavy attack builds. Okay, so like I said, heavy attack is a bit controversial. Ever since Empower Buff has still become useful in PvE and no longer PvP, and also there has been an expected rise in powerful heavy attack builds. I, for one, do not see any downsides from them, though people still receive comments as follow. Here's some negative comments to break it short. Are you really invested in a heavy tech build? Wow, they're laughing at him. 100K is nothing. Learn a real build. Heavy attack build is in a trial. Oh my God. You need to learn to play properly. And various other comment players have received that are not very encouraging, in other words, negative. Okay, so let me look at this. So 100K is nothing to learn a real build. Okay, that's pretty funny because not many people could hit 100K. So that's just probably some troll or someone, just exaggerating their numbers. Heavy attack build in a trial. Oh my God. Yeah. In the endgame community, if you go into a trial with heavy attack build, some people are more open-minded, but it is pretty hesitant. I'll explain later why. You need to learn to play properly. There's nothing wrong with playing that style. It just depends what audience and what level of difficulty you're playing the game. Really invest in a heavy attack build. Well, like I said, there's a percentage for everything in end game from casual. So it depends what you want. I mean, this game is meant for you to play how you want. So it's an exception, and we'll talk about that later. All right, so let's see what else he says. As far as I'm concerned, the positives of this build are brilliant for the game's overall play-based health and group content by. All right, group content. Um, I like diversity. I don't mind a mix of different things, but seeing 12 heavy attack builds in a trial is not I wouldn't. It's kind of you want to have a little bit of everything. So in that case, no, group diversity, probably not. I mean, yeah, yeah, in a way, yes. Like maybe you have a few, but not everyone. Um, Individual, I think it's cool, and I think it's cool casually, but we'll talk about that later on. Um, so here's some things, how it makes it better. He says lowering the steep of learning curve or rotation to improve DPS, no tricky light attacks. It's not that it's tricky light attacks. Light attacks is the most optimal, is the most fluent. And we'll talk about that later on. That is the most optimal damage. I know people are gonna say no, some people are gonna say yes, but I will explain later. Um, Help more people access vet content who might have problems, disability, slower reflexes. Okay, that's the point. I mean, maybe, maybe not, but okay, you have a valid point there. That could probably help. You know, improve number of potential players of games as more simple builds. Sure, absolutely. I do think that one of the reasons Elder Scroll made all these changes is because they want new player base to try more things. Um, and perfect example, why not many people go to PvP? Because people are scared. If you're a newbie, and I'll be honest, when I first was new, it was overwhelming. Everything was so fast, and plus with the lag, it can be really overwhelming. As a matter of fact, nowadays, they have PvP community is all about tankiness and build and several other builds for tankiness, where it makes it easier for a newbie to just go in with a group rather than going by themselves. So let's look at the other bit. it is only elitist toxic players that have a problem with that. Um, I don't think it's just sweats, but we'll talk about that later. It is a threat that sweaty complex two-bar light attack rotations that only put 20% more DPS. All right, you're being a bit biased there, but okay. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. No, I mean, at the end of the day, just like any game, you got to put the work, you got to put the effort. I understand that people work, I understand that people have lives, and it's understandable. But just like anything, you got to put the effort. If you, it's all about what you want. If you want to be the best, you have to improve the best. If you just want to have fun, then that's fine too, but don't get upset about that. So that frustration itself is like, okay, let's see what else they say. I would rather much 2 DPS in a dungeon running heavy attack build doing good DPS than light attack with poor rotation to follow meta builds. Bit biased, like I said. As a matter of fact, um, rotation, having light attack and weaving fluency will actually make you survive better. Um, so before doing heavy attacks, you get resources. I think they changed that. I don't remember exactly how that was. Maybe it gives you more damage now. That's why heavy attacks work pretty well now. But at the end of the day, if you don't have a proper rotation, a fluent rotation, it's harder to survive. Um, Remember, the game's heavy on damage. And saying 100k DPS is poor, that is funny. That is very funny because most people can't even hit 100k. Nothing wrong with that. It's just that not everybody wants to hit 100k. You know, you can be fine. In all honesty, most content, unless you get into hard modes and harder content, 12-man content, you could probably do with 65. But because Elder Scroll damage is so high now compared to years back, and you can pretty much do with anything from craftables, heavy attack builds, one bar builds, um, you know, most, a fluent DPS. And this is what I'm talking about, light attack and weaving would be 75k. That would be the sweet spot, I believe. Some people believe it's 80. I believe it's 75. Um, so let's see what else he says. How exactly is that class as poor? Because you can squeeze an extra 25k, you're entitled to trash other people. No content in the game needs you to go above 100k DPS except trifectas and leaderboard pushing. I agree to that. I'm big on damage, but I will have to say that you in defense to what he's saying, you do have a lot of people who hit 100k and they're just terrible in mechanics. I have seen that happen, but I also have met people who hit 100k and are fluent, great with mechanics, and they're just optimal players. So there's both sides. Let me see. Please let me know your thoughts on this. Okay, so while I was reading this, I did mention a few feedback, pros and cons. I was neutral as possible. Now we'll get more into facts, into stats. And this guy's researching and vice versa. I got into these stats. You can also find them as well. If you have any questions, I can send you links and vice versa, and you can give your opinion as well. So here's a couple things to realize from fact and fiction. So Elder Scrolls Online gamers from casual to engaged stats. One, light attack is back. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. After nerf, it was brought back and is on the ESO mission core statements of most optimal damage. Yes, I believe there's Delta and there's other people, a lot of YouTubers we all see that already have mentioned this. It's on the core statement. Many people to this day thinks that light attack has gotten nerfed. Supposedly it was supposed to, it may have, but they brought it back. And this is a while now. This is not even a week or two ago. Next thing, 75% are casual gamers. That means, and in some examples, delves, dungeons, fun quests, group activities, socializing, meeting with people, fishing, etc. There's nothing wrong with that. Everybody plays the game for different type of fun. If you're that 75% casual gamer, who cares if you're doing a heavy attack or whatever build? It's for fun. Well, you got to understand if you want to be the best player, you want to be an optimal end gamer, then you got to understand you have to get out of the 75 casual. Then you got to put the effort. Then you have to choose of what you want to do. But there's no right and wrong. 15% are PvPers, Cyrodiil, Battleground, and Source. Yeah, 15%. So you would think, why only 15%? Well, because it's overwhelming. You're a new player, you go to PvP, it is not the most fan friendly. However, they changed that. The game has changed that where, hey, this is why they put a more tanky era now. So you can get in ball groups and it introduces more of the player fan base to go into PvP. Has it worked? I mean, that's controversial. We'll see. And then here's the tricky part. 10% end gamers, 5% hardcore end gamers. These are the sweats. So these are the good fun factor. End gamers, yes, you have a lot who have 100K, anywhere from 75 to 100 something K, maybe 125, whatever. The 5% hardcore end gamers, that's the ones that make 25K plus. So you only got 5% in the whole Elder Scroll game community, and we're talking about thousands and thousands of people. Only 5% ever reach 125. That's why when you hear like 20 people saying, "Oh, I hit it," it's an exaggeration. And if not, let them prove it to you, vice versa. But anyway, that's controversial. Parsing, fluency. So good fluent parse, and this is where you got to put the effort. I would say the sweet spot is 75K light attacking. If you can do that fluency good using your light attacks and all your other skills, light attacking abilities, that is really good. I mean, I believe you can do any content pretty easily. Followable, of course, you should know your max. I mean, come on. And not be glass cannon. Obviously, use a heal when you really need to. I mean, let's use some common sense, guys. We all have our different styles. Most content you can probably get by 65K DPS. Um, yeah, more well than enough. The thing is, the reason why I don't mention 65 so much, and most people don't want to, they kind of irk, is because Elder Scroll has, yes, you hear all these nerves and all this mumbo jumbo. Most people don't understand what it really is. But in all honesty, um, you can probably get by with more and with 65K. And in all honesty, because SO is in such high damage era it's already good 1 or 2 years. Um, it's a good fluency 75K. And it's not hard to do. If you get mentors in your guild, if you get people to help you, it's not as hard. Trust me. If you would have been here like in 2016, 2015, oh my goodness, you didn't even have all these sets. I mean, look at the sets you can do 75K with now. Craftables, things like Hunding's Rage, Order Wrath. Um, that yes, they were Hunding's Rage back in the days, but you just couldn't do it. Maybe someone, but it was really hard to do. Hybrid builds, heavy attack builds, one bar Oakensoul. I mean, come on. You should be able to do 75K. Now, check this out. And if you don't, there's nothing wrong with that. Remember, if you're in the 75K casual, who cares? Um, is it a cheese build? Yeah, they are, but like I said, only 5% will be hardcore end gamers, only 10% will be end gamers. Um, Even 10% end gamers, you might have some people that are open-minded to it who might let you, you might not. 5% probably not. Um, Optimal. It's up to you. If you want to be considered the most optimal player, um, you got to put in the work. You got to put in the light attack. Yes, you can make a heavy attack, but for fun. But just make sure you do both. You have a little bit of both. So you don't be one-dimensional. Do you need it? Um, to be optimal, do you really need it? No, you can get by with, you don't have to. And being optimal, you can have everything in the world but still be lacking your 125K. Doesn't matter. You don't even need 125K. Now if you're gonna join a sweaty hardcore group, everyone has recommendation, everybody has their rules. You gotta follow by them. If not, find someone you can just have fun with. Um, what else? So does it really matter? The choice is yours. I gave you some information. Take it as it is. Hope you enjoy. Subscribe in the bottom. Thank you. And till next time, feel free to comment. Thank you.